Hi, this is Bruce, and today we're going to look at how we can use some JavaScript, specifically the async await and fetch API, in order to make our web design more efficient. So I've got a website here, a portfolio website from a former student, and we can see here how she's organized her files. So she's got an index file, which is what we're looking at here. And then she's got a gallery file where she has the main entries into her on her portfolio. And then for each one of the projects, she's got a project 1 through 7 file that has the particular project, such as this music fest. Okay. But if we look more carefully at the project file, there's a lot of code snippets that are repeated. So for instance, the header is repeated on every page. And if she needed to do, or if we wanted to do updates to this page, we'd have to go in and either do a find replace or go into each individual page and things like that. And so using the fetch API, we can avoid that. So let's start off. We'll go and I'll grab the actual content of that header, and I will create another file just called header.html, and in this we're going to insert the HTML for that header that we can then load into the other pages dynamically. Of course, we could also improve this. We don't really need the UL and LIs anymore. We could just do it directly with A's, just having to turn the A or anchor elements into block elements if we wanted them to act like that. And now that we've saved it, you can see I've already created a JavaScript file just to get us going here. And we'll do console log as our design is loaded. And we'll make sure, let's go back to project 1. And we'll add that script file that we just created. And now if we go back to project 1, and inspect, we'll just make sure that we're getting it loaded. You can see it's loaded. The error message is just for 404 on the fav icon. Okay. So now what we want to do is load that external HTML file, the header.html file, into this page, replacing what's here. So I'll just put a little p load header here. So now if we look at it, we can see we've just got the paragraph there that I've loaded. So we can go to the Microsoft Developer Networks, and we can look up the async await, right? So you can see here we're creating an asynchronous function called async call, and then awaiting for the response. Okay. But if we go to the fetch, you can see they're already using the async await function. So we can just copy that from here if we want, and paste it. And of course, instead of fetching some JSON, we want to fetch that header HTML file. And then we want to await for the response as well. But since we're getting what HTML, or what is essentially text, we're going to convert that response into text. And obviously, instead of this, we can say, I don't know, fetch. We'll call our function fetch HTML, and then we can log the, I guess we'll just call it data. And then let's see how that works. And of course we need to call it. And now we can see in the code snippet here, or sorry, in the console, we've got our code snippet for that header. So now that we've got the header, let's display it. So let's do display HTML. And we'll let the element that we're going to insert it in be header, right? So we're using our query selector to go and get this header element on the page. And then we want to just set the inner HTML to be equal to that snippet. And so if I save this and come on over here and load it, if I save it and come on over here and load it, if I call it, now we have to obviously call the that function, right? So we're going to call the function display HTML, and we're going to pass in that data or the HTML code snippet from here. And there we go. So now if we wanted to make the same updates for project number 2, just so we can see it working here, we'll have to add the script as well. And then we should see that project 2 is also going to update. Right, so we can see the in the console here that we are loading the menu using the JavaScript. Already that would be good. So now if we make a change here, and then say, I don't know, gallery, and then cases, and then contact me. So if we make a change here, and that change should be reflected on the project 1 and project 2 pages, right? So cases and contact me. But obviously project 3 and 4, it still says case study and just contact. Those haven't been updated. Okay. So that's the big advantage of using something like this. You can see it's not very much code, and it makes it so that we only have to update that code snippet in one place. Right? But we can improve on this, because what if we want to do more than just the header HTML? What if we have other common elements on our page? So let's come over here and let's see, does she have a footer? She does not. Oh, she does. Right, so she's got her footer text here, just a simple footer, but we can take that and I will cut it out. I'm going to create a new file called footer.html, and I'll paste that in there and save it. And then here, instead of copying and pasting this and just replacing this, let's pass in some variables. So first variable will be the URL. And so that will be either header or footer in this case. And then the second will be the target. So the thing that we want to target for where we're going to be inserting the code snippet. So in this case, our target will either be the footer element or the header element. So now here, instead of just fetch HTML, we can do fetch HTML, and we're going to pass in header.html and then header as the target as well. And then we'll replace the header.html here with URL, and then we will pass also the target along with the data into our display HTML. So let's just double check that this works. And you can see it's still working. And then now let's replace the footer as well. So project 1, we'll grab that footer, save, and we can see the footer has disappeared. And so now to add the footer back, we can just call the same function, passing in the footer. So that's pretty good. And then if I had a lot more code snippets to pass in, it might be worthwhile, instead of calling them the functions individually, is to create an array or a JavaScript object and then loop through and load them dynamically. So again, what we're doing is we are making our sites a little easier to maintain by, instead of repeating code on many pages like this, page project 3, project 4, project 5, and then every time we make a change, we have to go back and change it. We are loading them using the fetch API that I've wrapped inside a async await function. And then inserting them into the HTML using inner HTML. I hope this helps.